This is Uprising. I'm Sonali Kohatkar. You can now watch Uprising on Free Speech TV, which airs on Dish Network, Channel 9415, DirecTV, Channel 348, and on hundreds of part-time cable affiliates and on Roku. When economists pronounce an end to the recession and point to new jobs being created, unemployment numbers falling, stock prices climbing, and a general exuberance about the national economy, few point out that for 99% of Americans, very little seems to have changed. Most economists fail to ask the deep questions of what sorts of jobs are being created and whether we are accounting for those who've permanently left the workforce. One of those rare sorts of people whose economic analysis is centered on basic human needs rather than profit margins is Dr. Richard Wolff. He is a professor emeritus at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where he taught economics from 1973 to 2008. He's currently a visiting professor in the graduate program in international affairs of the New School University in New York City, and he teaches classes regularly at the Brecht Forum in Manhattan. He's also taught at Yale, the City College of New York, and has been a visiting professor of economics at the University of Paris in France. Richard Wolff has written a number of books, including Democracy at Work, A Cure for Capitalism, Occupy the Economy, Challenging Capitalism, Imagine Living in a Socialist USA, and Capitalism's Crisis Deepens, Essays on the Global Economic Meltdown. He also hosts a weekly radio program called Economic Update, which airs on Pacifica stations. In early 2015, Richard Wolff spoke at a sold-out event in Southern California, organized by KPFK, where he gave a wide-ranging speech on capitalism, the recession, and his vision for democracy in the workplace. And here's an excerpt of his speech.
A kind of celebration is in order. We are living through, in these last year or two, and right now, we are living through the breaking down of a taboo that has ruled this country for 50 years. For 50 years in America, half a century, that's a long time, it was impossible to have a serious conversation between people on the one hand who thought capitalism was a good and appropriate system, and people on the other who thought that we could and should do better. It wasn't possible. If you dared to question or criticize capitalism, you were made to feel disloyal, an agent of a foreign power, or just plain stupid. Everyone, we were told, understands that capitalism is absolutely the best thing that ever happened, even better than sliced bread. If you search the congressional record, you will not find for 50 years a debate between any two representatives or congresspersons, senators, pro and con capitalism. It's as if it was a settled question. That's amazing. An economic system is no different than a transportation system or a school system or any other system that makes a society. Any healthy society would debate its systems, like we did our health insurance system over the last few years in this country, or our school systems, which we're always arguing about. And the idea is always you debate something that's important in your society to identify faults with it, to figure out how it could and should be better, and to make progress. That's the plus side. Here's the negative. If you don't criticize it, you allow the worst things to fester and get worse. It's like going to a doctor early to catch a problem so you can treat it before it gets bad. So what happened over 50 years was we became taboo-ridden. We couldn't discuss capitalism. We couldn't have a debate or an argument. And so here's what happened. This system was able to indulge its worst flaws, undetected, unexposed, uncorrected. That's what we're living through. We're living through what happens to a system when it becomes taboo to question it.